Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. And I'm just out here on my Facebook page, double checking and hoping that things are set up and going like they should be. And it's a little hard for me to show you the project today because it's kind of 3D. So I am just going to do my best here and get this out. Of course, I'm having trouble. There we go. The video is finally up and live, it looks like. So just wanted to make sure that I can see all of your comments and things coming in before I get rolling. So I wanted to I put my camera up a little higher than I normally do just to try to help with where it zooms in and zooms out all the time. So I'm hoping it's not going to do that. So hey Karen, glad you're here. I see Myrtle is here as well, and looks like Mary's here. So yay, the gang's all here, I guess we'll say. So thanks, Catherine. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. It's kind of simple to put together, but I thought it turned out kind of cute, so I figured I'd hop on and show you guys how I made this today. So if you haven't seen it in the new mini catalog yet, the August to December 2020 mini catalog from Stampin' Up, they have an awesome new bundle. Actually, it's a whole product suite called Heartwarming Hugs Suite, and it's got these cute little mini coffee cups in it, and it's got the cute little mini carrier in it, and as well as a stamp set and die set, two stamp sets, die sets. I used designer paper other than the stuff that's in the suite. There's a Heartwarming Hugs designer series paper that's in the suite, but I actually used some of the wrapped in plaid designer series paper instead, just because I wanted to go with a little bit of a fall theme on mine. So hopefully you like it. So hey Marilyn, I see Paul is here too. Thanks for joining. So all right, so like I said, it's a little weird to try to show you this because if I stand it up, all you see is the top of the cups, and it's not really the look I was trying to show you what it looks like from the side. So hopefully that gives you a good shot of the project. So let me set the actual project aside here, hopefully, and we'll talk for a second about the stamp set. So we've got the Warm Hugs stamp set, and it is bundled together in the catalog with the Warm Wraps dies, and they're fun little dies, so it does coordinate. Obviously it works with the little mini coffee cups. And thanks, Barbara, I appreciate that. Hey Rosie, thanks for joining today. So this coordinates with the dies coordinate, I'm sorry, with the mini coffee cups. But you can also just use these, you can use them for regular cards as well. So there are some that are a little more general sentiments. This one I think would be fun to use if you were doing like a gift card holder or something like that. Come up with a creative way to do that. So definitely a good stamp set. This one is a photopolymer, which is nice because it's got some of the two-step stamping, and we'll be doing that today. And then here are the dies. So I wanted to show you one thing really quickly about the dies, which you may or may not have noticed. So I will try to hold it still and up close to the screen. These are the wrap dies, and you'll see that they've got the little pound sign or hashtag. I guess it's not a pound sign anymore, so it shows my age that I call it a pound sign. And little stars down here on the bottom. Hopefully you can see that on the video. So when you are going to put your die cut pieces together, you will see that the scalloped edges for the top die also have the little hashtags or pound signs, and then the bottom die also has the little stars on it. So hopefully you can see that in the video, but like I said, it's a nice little, it helped me to kind of figure out what was what and how to put things together when I was doing this myself. So I thought I would point that out quickly, and I don't think, actually these do have it on there. I had not played with this set of dies yet, but these are some dies that you can use on the wraps as well, and the ones that go up on the top, you'll see have the little hashtags on them, and then the ones that go down towards the bottom have the little stars on them. So that is a nice little thing that kind of shows you where to put things together. And I agree, it'll always be a pound sign. I can't get used to this whole hashtag thing. Old dogs sometimes can't learn new tricks. So, all right, so I just wanted to show you that quick little tip for when you're assembling these to make it a little bit easier on you. All right, so that is the Stampin' dies. Oh, I guess the dies, I should say. There are little dies that coordinate with the mug, the tree, the bow, the star, and the heart. And then this circle die coordinates, obviously, this stamp set's, well, I guess maybe it's a similar size, but there we go, that's the right size. So, so the little two circle die fits around these. And then this one actually is a good die for layering. It also fits around the outside edge of that if you want to just do a circle around that. But there is a die, that's, I believe, yeah, this one coordinates with that image as well, the kind of circular image. So always a pound sign, so yes. So good, I'm glad I'm not the only old lady in the group. So, all right, so let me set that aside and bring in one other thing that I am using today. These are the wrapped in texture embossing folders. Now there are two different ones in here, and these will fit in the upcoming new mini machine, which isn't available yet, but will be at some point. But they also go through any regular die cutting machine as well. So there's this one that's got kind of little groups of 4 dots in it. And then this one, to me, when it embosses, it looks like little plus signs. And I'm sure there's probably an official word for it, but it looks like little plus signs to me. So that's what I'm going with. Hey, Jeannie, I'm glad you're here as well. So this is a set of embossing folders. They're called Wrapped in Texture. And these are also in the Heartwarming Hugs product suite. You can purchase them individually or do the, one button, push it all and get everything. And these are included in it as well. So before I get going, just wanted to remind you about bonus days that are going on. Hey, Lori, glad that you are here today watching live too. So bonus days are going on from Stampin' Up! During the month of July up until August 3rd. Any orders that you place of $50 or greater, you're going to get a $5 off coupon that you can spend during the month of August between the dates of the 4th and the 31st. And that's really a nice little bonus because the new holiday catalog, well, I should call it the August to December 2020 mini catalog, which used to be known as the holiday catalog, will be going live for ordering for customers starting on August 4th. So that's a nice, nice time. They set it up quite well so that you can spend your coupons on your brand new catalog products from the holiday catalog. So I'm going to go ahead and get going on this project. This is what the mini coffee carriers look like when they come in. They come packed as 8 of them in a package, and they come flat, which is nice for decorating them. So I will say it makes it a little bit easier. I will be showing you some of the embossed samples in just a second with the one that looks like the little plus sign. That's the one we're using today. So hang on, I'll be showing it to you, I promise. So I use the Stampin' Seal Plus. I think the seal probably would have been, the regular seal would have been good enough to hold these pieces on the card or on the little carrier, but I wanted to really make sure that it stayed very well. So I just went ahead and I'm using the Seal Plus when I'm adhering the pieces together. And I cut this all ahead of time, and I will see if I can remember. The details will be all out on my blog post tomorrow, and I will link that up here once the blog post goes live tomorrow around 8 o'clock Eastern time. But this is 5 3/4 by 1 3/4 for the larger pieces. And then I've got Mango Melody cardstock that I have cut to 5 3/4 by 1 13/16 of an inch, which I know that's a weird measurement, but I didn't want it to be a full 1/8 of an inch bigger at the top. So that's why I went with 13/16, because that kind of puts it halfway in between and gives it a little edge, but not too much. So, all right, and then I've got another piece here that I have cut to 2 7/8 by 1 3/4, and again, this is the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper pack, which is actually a little bit further back in the catalog, but I still love it. And like I said, it's got lots of good fall prints, and there's even some summer plaid prints in there, so kind of crosses all the seasons. And since I wanted these to be fall little coffee carriers, that's why I kind of went with the fall themed. I was kind of on a pumpkin spice, trying to get cooler temperatures to show up here, I guess, by doing some pumpkin spice stuff. So, all right. So I've got these adhered together, and I'm going to just go ahead, and you can see there's little score lines here where we're going to fold the bottom, and then this is where the side will fold when we put it together. So what I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to line it up as closely as I can to that bottom score line, and then try to get it straight here in between the other 2 score lines. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. And I'm going to hope that I got everything cut correctly, because otherwise it's going to look all sorts of crazy. But I tried to line them up beforehand. And again, I'm using the Seal Plus to adhere these together and to the front of the little carrier. There is a little break here in the designer paper where or the pieces of designer paper, but it's just going to show the little crease, and I didn't think it was noticeable enough that it made it look not good. So, so that's how I decorated the exterior of it. So when you go to assemble these, it's very simple. You're just going to pop it up like this. There are score lines here that you're going to kind of push a little bit. And again, I'm hoping that this isn't going to totally go out of focus when I do this. So to try to get it to fold as well as possible, I went ahead and folded it completely the opposite way. And then I'm going to flip it up, and I'm going to tuck in the bottom pieces, the 2 side flaps, and the bigger bottom piece. And then the kind of more envelope flap look is the final one that goes in. And you just tuck that in the bottom, and then the bottom of your carrier is all put together. So hopefully it didn't get all fuzzy and crazy on the video. I know sometimes it zooms in and out of focus, and I hopefully did it slow enough and held it steady enough that it won't do that. So, all right, so next up, we're going to do a little bit of decorating of one of the little coffee cups. I did a second one ahead of time, so you didn't have to sit and watch this. These also are packaged in a set of 8. There are 8 lids and 8 little cups that come with them. And I'm assuming you can use these for real to drink out of. Oh, it does say, yes, up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit you can put into the little coffee mugs, and you will still be good. So I'm not a big coffee drinker. I'm a tea person, so I would probably not put coffee in mine, but you can certainly do that as long as it's not scorchy hot coffee. So, all right, let me get the Seal Plus here again. And I'm just going to run this along the embossed edge. And again, this is the piece of cardstock that I have embossed with the wrapped in texture embossing folder. This is one of the 2. And again, I'm going to try to hold it still here so you can catch a glimpse of it. So Karen says, cooler days are coming. I sure hope so. Thanks for joining from California, Shelly. I appreciate you being here. So again, I cut these ahead of time from Mango Melody cardstock. And you can see there are 2 different sizes. So when I hold them side by side, you can see plus one. They're different angles. So this one is angled to fit on the top, and this one is angled to fit on the bottom of your little die cut pieces. This is Pretty Peacock cardstock, which I've again cut with the Warm Wraps dies ahead of time. You need to cut 2 of these, and then you're going to need 4 of the little scalloped edges if you want to put the scalloped edges on yours. And I'm just using a little Stampin' Seal to adhere the 2 pieces together. Going to do the same thing here at the bottom. Hopefully, if my driving doesn't get too crazy with the seal. Oh, and I don't know if you can see it very well. I will try to hold it so it catches the light, but I got a little of the seal that kind of went off the edge of my cardstock, and I don't necessarily like the look of that. I don't want to have glue sticking out along the edge of my cardstock. So all you have to do is take your finger and basically just kind of roll it right back, and it folds back on itself, and then you can't even see that it's there. So. And it doesn't hurt the adhesive at all to do that. I do it all the time with mine. So, all right, so we're adhering the bottom together on that one. I'm going to do the same thing on my second one here. Hopefully, if I can drive my seal somewhat straight. So there again, I've got a little piece that went off the edge. So I just roll it back on. Karen's saying cooler days are coming. Yeah, I know. And I know I'll be complaining when it's cold and it's snowing and it's ugly outside that, I wish it was warmer. But I will admit I'm just not a summer person. Fall I'm good with, spring I'm good with, and winter I actually, for the most part, depending on what area of the country you're in, because I lived in the Midwest and that was kind of miserable winters up there. But for the most part, I don't necessarily mind winter. I am just not a hot weather person. I don't know. I get hot quickly, and then I'm, just miserable and sweaty. So, all right, the next thing I did to kind of help the die cut to want to wrap around the mug is I took my bone folder and just kind of ran it along to help round the 2 die cut pieces, again, to just kind of encourage it to want to stay around, to wrap easier around the little cups. And then I'm going to take some Seal Plus, and I'm going to just run it here. You can put it on the little tabs, but I found that the little tabs are a little bit narrower than the seal is, and so I had a harder time getting it to drive correctly on there, and I had a lot of excess. So what I did this time was actually, the second time I was putting things together, is I put it on the wider side and then didn't have to worry so much about that. All right, so let me get that done. And then all that you do to wrap or put these together, 100 degrees is just too much, I have to agree. So fall is your favorite season too. So, oh, I'm seeing I missed a couple comments there, but I could get in the pool to cool off, but it's still hot and miserable outside and inside too. So, all right. So all that you do to put these two together is you just kind of put the ends together, cover up your little tab. You do kind of need to give this a good firm squeeze, squish, smash. I know we had this discussion about whether my words were real last time when you're putting these together so that it holds firmly. And again, you're going to take the tabbed side and put it on the inside and adhere, squish, smash these together as well. You don't need to smash it so hard that you're ruining your embossing, but definitely give it a good squeeze to make sure that it stays together. And then all that you do with it is you just take it and slide it onto the cup, and your little wrap is all done. So super easy on that. All it is die cutting, and if you choose to, embossing, and then adhering pieces together, and it fits the little cup perfectly. So that is a nice little bonus with that. And I went ahead and did the second one ahead of time, so you didn't have to sit and watch me do that twice. But this is what this one's going to look like. Whoop! Of course, this one fell off as I'm talking. Now that I say I did it ahead of time, my little sleeve fell right down. One thing that I did do actually on my first one that I did not do on this one is I took a little bit of, took a glue dot and stuck it on the cup and then stuck my wrap to it so that the wrap stayed in place. So that's one little trick that you can do as well if you want to make sure the wraps stay in place and don't have to worry about them sliding around. So we've got that part all done. Next up, it is super easy, Karen. You really need to, I mean, I'm telling you, they're really designing the first one took me like 15 minutes and it was all done. So I'm talking a lot. It's already been 15 minutes, so I apologize. All right, so we've got, I did a little tag as well, and this is the fancy tag topper punch, which it's probably easier to see it this way around. This one is in the annual catalog, and it is paired in a bundle with a Fancy Phrases, I think is the name of it, stamp set. So this one's in the current annual catalog, and all that I did was I took a 3-inch long piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock, and it's 2 inches wide, and punched the end of it with the fancy tag topper punch, and then embossed it with that same embossing folder that I used around the little wraps. So that is done. And I cut a piece of basic black cardstock. Let me pull the die set over here a second. With the stitched circle die, so that's just basic black cardstock. And then I cut a piece of Mango Melody cardstock with this die, and these again are all from the Warm Wraps dies. And we're just going to adhere the pieces together with a little bit of seal. And while I'm doing that and adhering things together over here, I did want to remind you that you saw the Wrapped in Plaid Designer Series paper. I'm actually doing a Designer Series paper share with the new mini catalog items. So if you are interested in joining my share, the details are posted out on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. You're welcome to hop in and join that. I can only send to people in the U.S., so if you're outside the U.S., I'm sure you can probably find a share in your area as well, but if you are in the U.S. and are interested in joining, just let me know. All right, last thing we're going to do is a little bit of stamping and die cutting. So I've got Pretty Peacock ink. Don't go outside until later in the day when it's, around 5 or 6. I don't know, it's even still kind of warm. Usually like 8 o'clock is sort of when I can start standing outside. Like I said, I'm just not a hot weather person, and I don't know. I know some people are, and I'm jealous of you because I just can't, I'm not. I've never really enjoyed being out in the heat, and I don't know, I guess I'm just wimpy. So, all right, got a little Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I'm going to ink up the coffee cup here. And hopefully get a good dark image on that one. I'm going to stamp that here as well. And where I'm stamping this on the Whisper White cardstock does not matter at all because we're going to do some die cutting with it. And then last I've got Mango Melody Mango Melody ink that I'm going to ink the little mug image in. And then I'm going to try my best, since I'm doing this, through the camera. Hopefully I got it fairly straight on here. Ooh, look at that. I'm like, always a happy day when I get it to line up on camera. All right, so we've got those done, and I'm going to go ahead and take the dies from the Warm Wraps dies. This is the one that's going to cut the circular image out, and then we've got this one here for the mug. So I'm just going to run these through the die cutting machine quick over here off to the side. Hopefully y'all are having a good Tuesday. I'm kind of losing track of what day it is though, so. It's a little more difficult with the kids being out of school than it normally is. I mean, it was bad before, but now I feel like I don't have any idea what day it is. Most of the time I'm like, thankfully I have lots of reminders set on my calendar, otherwise I'd forget everything. So, all right, so we've got the little die cut done here for the tag, and it cuts out this cute little dot in the middle, which at some point maybe I'll figure out something I can do with all the dots I'm cutting out with those dies. But for now, I'll just set it aside. And I'm pulling out some mini Stampin' Dimensionals, which if you watch my videos, you know mini Stampin' Dimensionals are not something I use very often, so it has to be a special occasion. Otherwise, I just used my chopped up ones. So I'm going to use some mini Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere the little die cut circle to the tag. And I see Robin Ryan is here as well. Hopefully, I don't know if she's just popped on for a second and decided to run away, but if you're here, Robin, I appreciate you joining, and hope that you're having an awesome day and not sweating too much down in Georgia. So, going to adhere that onto the tag and then use a little mini dimensional for the coffee cup. And I know that it's kind of a wintry image on the coffee cup, but I didn't feel like it was so wintry that I couldn't get away with it for fall. So I went with it for fall. Hopefully it's not too much of a winter look to it. So, all right, now I'm going to take a big long piece of 3/16 inch braided linen trim. It's about, I don't know, 13 or 14 inches long, and I'm just going to put it through the tag. And we are going to tie the tag. Again, I know this is hard to look at because it's, you know, it's a 3D project, and it's kind of hard to show you how to do all this because I'm used to doing cards and flat things. So, all right, so I've got a little tag here. I'm just going to try to tie a decent looking bow, and I promise we are almost done. So, hadn't thought about getting this set, now you're rethinking it. Oh man, it's a really cute set. And one thing I was thinking about doing with it, I see I didn't cut these quite as long as my previous one was, so we'll just go with it this way. I'll trim up the ends in a minute or retie it completely and make it look pretty. All right, so that's that. And then there's one more thing that I'm going to add to it. These are the acorn trinkets. And no running away in Georgia. Ugh, it is, yeah, I heard it's really disgusting hot down there. So, but yeah, you had to tune in for coffee. Yeah, good plan. I figured as much. So, all right, so got an acorn trinket and a little bit of the linen thread, and I'm just going to tie my little acorn trinket right around the bow that I tied earlier. And we are going to trim this one up a little bit, so I'm just going to tie a knot. Try to get my acorn on here, and then we will be all done with this. So tie a quick knot, trim it up, and of course my bow decided to hop around the back side of the container here. Oh man, I really need to retie that bow. It looks terrible, but it is what it is for now. So, all right, so this is a little carrier we made on screen today. I switched up the Designer Series paper and the colors just a little bit. So here's my sample. I used the Rich Razzleberry on this one, and then this one I switched over and did Pretty Peacock on instead. So hopefully you can see them both. And I don't know which one I like better. I was leaning towards this one first, but now that this one's all done, I'm a big fan of blues and not as much of purple. So to me, this one, I almost prefer this one a little bit more. So that is it for my project today. Hopefully I showed you how quick and easy these are to put together, and hopefully you will definitely get some of these little mini coffee carriers and the mini coffee cups and grab the Warm Hugs stamp set bundle. It's very cute, very easy to use, and again, fun design. So I am looking forward to playing with this for Christmas. I thought these might make cute teacher gifts if we ever go back to school here this fall, and just maybe put a little gift card for a coffee shop or something inside one of the mugs, and maybe fill the other one up with candy. So something fun like that. So Anyhow, that is all that I've got for you today, so I appreciate you being here. Again, the details will be posted out on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. You're welcome to go out there and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I appreciate it. And that's all for today. I will plan to be back out on my YouTube channel live next week, or this week, Friday, I should say, at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and back here on Facebook at 2 o'clock Eastern Time next week, Tuesday. Thanks for joining. Have a great rest of your day.